Dun, 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 dun. This is what happens when we're gonna add Instagram. Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, and on location tonight, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, Bailey?
I'm good. A little chilly, a little damp out here tonight, but finishing up a soccer match. But the show must go on, as
The
they
show
say.
must go. I'll say you look a little cold, but I like it. I like the
Yeah, I got the little ball on top and
yeah.
everything.
That's good. That's a good look. So anyway, hey, we got a great show. We're going to talk some Clemson basketball. Obviously, we're still hype about being in the Sweet 16. Been enjoying that all week long. We're going to talk about why this time of year is so fun and possibly the most fun time of the year for sports fans. And then we're going to catch up with some other news out of Clemson and other spring sports. But first, the Fun Fans are a proud part of the Fanboys Fangirls Sports Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, the Fanboys Fangirls is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts and other forms of sports media at thefanboys.com and all forms of social media. The Fun Fans Podcast is the official podcast for Clemson fans. And Bailey, you don't need your script no more, do you?
Yeah, I got it. We don't want to forget about Rubens Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering, the best wings around, with 2 locations in the upstate, 1083 Batesville Road in Greer and 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont. RubensC.com is the website, and Rubens is simply a great place to eat for all sports fans.
Hey, huge props. My man's a professional. Ain't no way I'd memorize all that.
Yeah, we are playing the number 2 team in the nation according to Max Prep. So it's Providence Day, private school in Charlotte, but it was 1-1 at halftime. Now it's 3-1. We're down, but still a great showing by the Lady Eagles.
The Lady Eagle, good job. Wow, you said number
Yeah,
1 team in the
they're
country?
ranked second in the nation, and we're actually ranked 27th. So,
There you go.
I mean, it's a national ranking, so that's a lot of teams.
That is a lot of teams. That's it. Speaking of a lot of teams, NCAA men's is down to 16, and Clemson is one of them. Clemson versus Arizona. So we're going to preview real quick how we think what we think the matchup looks like. Bailey, we'll let you go first. You're the basketball expert on the show. What do you think about the matchup coming up tomorrow night?
Well, I think Arizona's about a 7.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
I know they play 2 7-footers, both of them that go right around 260 or 270. And they love to play up and down. They've been in the top 10 off and on throughout the year. So it's a tough matchup, but you know what? It is what it is. You're in the Sweet 16, so it's not going to be easy.
Right. Yeah, there are no bad teams left. One thing that I've, heard, and picked up a little bit, just don't know a lot about the team, but definitely a different style of play, kind of different style than the ACC. And that might go good for us, considering we did better kind of pre-conference. We had our moments.
What people need to understand is how much film they're going to watch on each other.
Yeah.
But it's not like being in the conference with each other and seeing each other year in, year out and knowing what they do. It's the same way in high school. It's the same thing in any sport. They're going to be prepared. Arizona's a team we don't see a lot because, they play at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock on ESPN or Fox Sports or whatever. So
but it might work out. We've done well. I mean, for some reason, sometimes some teams, some kids just naturally adjust well and stuff. And it seems like this team has done that. So, and if our shots are falling, like we've always said, and we hadn't gotten hot yet. Right. We hadn't got. We only played 2 games in this tournament.
We played great defense.
We played great defense, and we've done well with some shooting, but we hadn't really got hot yet. We've seen our team light it up, and if we light it up, we'll beat anybody. And poor Arizona could be the ones to get it. But either way, if we play great defense, we'll definitely be in the game. Just since we won't have another show till Sunday, when we win, we'll get the winner of North Carolina and Bama. And obviously we beat both of those teams this year. So
at their place,
that's pretty. You're going to take this one game at a time. But is it too much to use? Yeah, they're all really good.
They're both very good. But let's worry about the first game,
Zona.
And then we'll worry about the Tar Heels and the Crimson Tide later if we need to. But I'll tell you this: Katie Jackson's in L.A.
I saw that. That's
Well,
awesome.
actually, she's still on the plane.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So she's jumping right back into the cheer thing. Saw that on Instagram. So props to her. Good job, cheer, Clemson cheer, for letting some of the veterans go on this special trip. And speaking of making it special, 7 p.m. tomorrow night. You got to work? Or you gonna be able to watch the game?
I have worked it out where I will be watching the game.
We actually have a
I have to have
parent
a shout out
conference.
to my people that work with me and help me. They've made that possible.
Very good. I'll be working till 7:30. So Rubens will be a fun place to watch the game, and I may or may not make it there by halftime. So
I am watching it in my chair like I always do.
all
Whit and
right,
I are going to be like that commercial that's on. If you didn't have popcorn the first game, you're not having popcorn this game. If you didn't sit there, you're not sitting there.
not
We're sitting at the same
superstitious.
place.
We're doing the exact same thing.
Yes.
All right. Any other NCAA talk? I mean, for the 16 or ACC teams, is that worth mentioning?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, obviously NC State's probably more of a surprise than any of the rest of them, but NC State's playing well. It's just about getting hot at the right time. I'm just
Getting hot at the right time.
Yep.
Speaking of hot at the right time, the women's tournament is fun to watch. Those are some good games. I said this last year. Our women were in the NIT. Me and my daughter went over there, and watching the girls play is sometimes some of their games are more fun to watch than some of the boys' games.
Unless it's a South Carolina game.
Well, South Carolina, they just beat the hound out of everybody.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When did gold become a color of the University of South Carolina? Because it's in their uniform.
Nah.
I don't understand that. Like, that's one of my big pet peeves. If it's not your school color, it doesn't go in the uniform.
Don't go in there. But I noticed that. Must have missed that part. But speaking of competing in the women, there's been some talk, and even I thought about this because I like watching the women play. But if there's I'm just, not to start any controversy on the Fun Fans podcast, but generally if there's a men's game going on, that's going to be the one I'm going to pick to watch. And is this the first year they put them at competing times? ESPN has put the women's games at the same time as the men's games, which, more power to them. But
I don't know the answer to that question, but I mean, I like competitive games.
Right.
What you get in March Madness, except last weekend where you had a couple blowouts, is every game's competitive. And like I said, and the women's games are competitive the Gamecocks are head and shoulders better than everybody else. Like, right. It's not even close. So for them to lose, that would be news to me.
Yeah. Well, supposedly the men and the women are getting record-breaking viewership. So, but I have heard, I'm not the only person. I was thinking about that, and then I heard it on another talk show, and just kind of it could have been even better maybe for the women if they wouldn't have been competing with the men. So, and the other thing, I'm just going to say it, I think the NCAA messed up, and I know things aren't supposed to be rigged, but putting LSU and Iowa in the same bracket, that was a mistake. They should have set that up where those were two potential Final Four teams, because they're going to have that matchup with Caitlin Clark and Iowa. Did I say Iowa State? It's Iowa.
Yeah.
And LSU is going to be a great 8 matchup, assuming they both win their next game. Speaking of Caitlin Clark, did you hear about the $5 million?
She got offered $5 million to play in the Big 3 Ice Cube tournament, which WNBA players go in the offseason. Some of them go over season play to supplement their income. So this is just a way she can supplement her income.
Huge.
There are relaxed rules on what they can do in the offseason. So
well, and had you heard, I've heard of that league before. I didn't know it's been going on as long as it had, but had you heard of Ice Cube's Big 3 league, I guess?
Yeah, I watched some. It started in, I think, 2016, and it's kind of something I'd watch, if it was on. It's not something I'm going to mark on my calendar.
Right.
But evidently
like
they
the
got
Roughnecks game
Lisa
Sunday.
Leslie's played before.
Right.
Nancy Lieberman was the first female coach in the league. So this is not unprecedented.
Do you
But
think? Well, her money, that money is, I think,
yeah,
right?
but she's already making a fortune. She's gonna have a shoe deal. She's making money from Gatorade already.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be okay for money.
Do you think she said that
As
today
long as
was a
she
good
doesn't
day?
cuss anybody out on the court again.
Was did she admit that today was a good day when she got that deal?
Only if she's dropping ice cube lines, which
Anyway,
would be funny.
that would be funny. All right, but you
But
know what?
Clemson has a new women's coach too.
Right. Speaking of lines, because it makes you want to say what?
Do what?
What's it make you want to sing? I know we think alike.
I don't know. You got me on that one.
Well, what's his name?
His name's
Sean,
Poppy,
Sean Poppy.
Big Poppy.
Yeah, I love it when you call me Big
Two
Poppy.
NCAA tournaments, UT Chattanooga. He was an assistant at Virginia Tech before that. So good things on the horizon for the Lady Tigers.
Yep.
They're always going to be competing with Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks in this state.
Yeah.
But let's see what we can do.
All right. Yeah. Big positive hire for the Tigers there. Fun fan bracket. Well, obviously, there's no update there because there haven't been any games since our last show. And really, there's not a lot to update. Baseball and softball, the midweek games got canceled. One thing about baseball, as projected, they've landed at like number 2 and 3 in pretty much every poll. But there is some news on gymnastics. I was mistaken. Have to go back and correct your errors in the media, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said that they ended their season by finishing second in the ACC, but they have been selected or qualified or whatever happens with gymnastics, learning.
Mm-hmm.
For I guess it's it's a national tournament now, and they're in the regionals version of that. Do you know anything more about that than I do?
I do not.
Okay, obviously they're just still
They
going.
finished their regular season. How about that?
There you go. They finished the regular season, but you know what they're probably needing about right now?
Some energy.
Some dubby. Go to dubby.gg, enter promo code FUNFANS to get your jitterless energy, and you can also support the podcast. Okay, so what is marked on our calendar is that the UFL starts Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. We're gonna thank the good Lord for what we're supposed to thank Him for, and we're gonna celebrate that. And then we're gonna watch some spring football, and it's gonna be awesome. Roughnecks play at 3:00. Looking forward to that. So the big question tonight is the kind of the theme of the show is, there's so much going on. You got the NCAA men's, the NCAA women's, obviously NBA's going on, NHL's getting deep into the season. And tomorrow, Bailey, tomorrow's opening day for Major League Baseball. Masters is right around the corner. NASCAR has started. So the burning question is right now the best time of the sports calendar for sports fans? So right now we got the Fun Fans top 5 reasons now is the best time of the sports year. You ready?
I'm ready. Drum roll. I'm ready.
It's not. I don't care all that's going on. You can't beat football in the fall and the tailgating and the smell in the air and the changing of the leaves. It's just, you just can't beat it. Sorry.
It depends on who you are.
That's right.
I mean, obviously, this is the last weekend for basketball people is the best weekend ever.
Yes.
And a week from now, it'll be golf fans' best weekend ever. Even people who don't play golf or watch golf watch the Masters, right? So the Masters is just something that it's just like something I can literally sit in my chair with commercial-free Masters for hours and watch it. And it's that exciting.
It is exciting.
All while being quiet.
Whispering voice. I don't know why either.
That means our game is over here, so I may have to dip out. But
well, we're pretty good. I think we've wrapped it up. We're going to come back Easter Sunday with another show, and we're going to be talking about the Tigers going to the Final Four.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We hope you enjoyed the show. We're proud of our team. We're thinking of Omaha when it comes to baseball. And good luck to the other folks in the Fun Fans podcast bracket competition. Come back Sunday. It's going to be more fun than hunting Easter eggs. Thanks again for checking us out each and every Sunday and Wednesday. Don't forget to click subscribe on the Fun Fans podcast YouTube channel as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media and share share. Reach out to become a sponsor on behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, J Thriller Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, and Bailey Jackson.
That's right, everybody. Happy Easter. See you Sunday.
Happy Easter. Go